Howdy folks, Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. And today we're going to talk about this game right here. The Walking Dead All Out War. This was a Kickstarter that I got involved with, and I got the box, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about it. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, so this was a Kickstarter that I got involved with, man, it might be about a year ago now. And they had two different tiers for your Kickstarter pledge. They had the regular edition, and I don't remember how much that was. And then they had the collector's edition, which was $125, which was basically the base game and the very first expansion, which was at that time called the Atlanta expansion. They changed the name now, as you will see when we get into the box, to I think it's called Days Gone By or Days Past or something like that. Anyway, so this is what the box looks like. The Walking Dead All Out War Kickstarter. This is, of course, obviously the Kickstarter edition, and it has Kickstarter exclusives in it. Now, the reason that you all might be interested in this is because this is available retail now. It's not exactly the same because it doesn't have all the Kickstarter stuff in it or whatever, but there is a retail version of this that you can buy. So I thought you guys might be interested. I'm not really doing like an actual unboxing because I've already had this open, and there's plenty of other unboxings of this game. If you search for them, you can find them, and they do the actual top to bottom unboxing. I'm not going to do all that, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. So let's. So I wanted to show you guys the figures. So this is a miniatures game. It's not your typical board game as you're used to. This is for those that don't know what a miniatures game is. Basically, you have a bunch of minis like this, and so you have in here the survivors, Rick Grimes, etc., that whole group, and then you have a bunch of walkers, and this game is set in the graphic novel Walking Dead, not the TV show. So if you are a fan of the graphic novel, this is right up your alley because all the artwork and everything, it looks just like out of the graphic novel. So, but I'll show you a couple. For instances, here's Negan. Let's do a up close here for you. See if this will focus for you. Try and see if that'll help. There we go. So there is Negan, and if you're wondering, there's Lucille on his back. He's got it on his shoulder, I should say. And see if I'd like to get where you can really see his face there. So, and I'm not sure what he's holding in his other hand, but it's very difficult to get everything to focus properly. So, let's see if we can get this to, see if we can go behind him like that, and if that'll help. There you go. So, and it looks like he's just raising his fist. No, I take that back. He's got a grenade in his hand. So, anyway, that's just an example. That's Negan. And Michonne was a Kickstarter exclusive. So, unfortunately, that was only available through the Kickstarter. So, there's Michonne. And, there's the whole, the whole group of them. I think this is Rick right here. Let's see. Yeah, I believe this is supposed to be Rick. If you want to see Rick. See if he'll show up here and focus for you. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Come on, you want to do it, camera. You want to do it. Maybe not. Oh, well. Anyway, So there's a whole ton of figures here, as you saw. And basically what the game is that you have a game mat that is scenery, and you have your minis and the Walker minis, and then there are event cards and so forth that you use to find out what happens. And the object of the game is whoever finishes when this is your this thing is called your threat. What is it? Threat tracker. When that gets all the way around to the this guy right here, that is the final round. And as it counts around to there, when it gets to the final round, whichever player has the most supplies, which are represented by, there are little supply counters and things like that in here as well. Whoever has the most at that time wins. Or unless everybody else is eliminated, killed, and then obviously you win then. But there's other scenarios. I was reading through the books and everything. There's like a weapons run where you're going out and you're specifically trying to get weapons, and there's all these different scenarios that they have in there that you can run. And these are all, meant to be painted, these figures, these miniatures. So you can paint them all, and then there's all kinds of scenery stuff. I mean, you saw some of it on here. This is from the what was the Atlanta expansion, and they've got this is the top of the RV, and you've got there's a car here, and there's other debris piles and stuff like that, and there's a ton of it in here to put on the game mat. And I haven't read enough to see how you determine what you put where, but I'm sure there is. But there's four wrecked cars, or maybe they're not wrecked, who knows? But they're meant to be like obstacles, so that you have your miniatures, and you have to move X amount of spaces, whatever. But you may have a car in your way, so you have to use your strategy to get around the car as an obstacle, that type of thing. And then they give you a bunch of like barricade type things. These are all like tires and stuff like that you set up as barricades, again as barriers that you have to work around, and I guess you could use as cover between you and the walkers. You can arrange yourself to where you get between, at least you have a barrier between you and the walkers so they can't get to you, so you can use it to your benefit. But I'm sure sometimes it's a detriment because it's in your way, so it's all part of the strategy is dealing with that kind of stuff. But you get these are the character cards. If you want to see what those look like, there's Rick Grimes. Let's see if I can do this where you can. Let's see here. There's Rick Grimes, and there are Walker and Romer boosters, which I'm sure these are like event cards, I think. See if that can show it. It's going to be too shiny, I think. So, depending upon the threat level, it tells you what happens. And you have, these are equipment cards and weapon cards. So, I'm sure that for each character, depending on who you're playing, you get different weapons, different equipment, and that type of thing. And you even get, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get these out of here to show you. Let's see. Let's see if I can do that. You get it. So with the Kickstarter edition, you got there's a set of dice right there, but with the Kickstarter edition, you get another set. So you get two whole sets of dice. No idea what these like. Some of them have question marks. One of them has a badge. Not sure. I haven't looked into it. That may just be a fancy one there. I don't know. But anyway, so you get the idea. And then there's there's paper game mats that you can mount on foam board if you want, that type of thing. I suggest if you're interested in it, you can go to Mantic Games. That's who made it. and look at all the details there if you were interested. But I thought with Christmas coming up and people looking for gift ideas and that type of thing, and people that are in your life maybe that really are big Walking Dead fans, maybe you're a big Walking Dead fan, particularly the graphic novel, you might find this interesting. I can't wait to get a group of people together to play it, digest the rules and everything, and get a game going, and seeing how it all works out and everything. And then I could give you a proper review at that time once we do that. So that was it, guys. Just wanted to give. I like to give Kickstarter updates because I've done several of them. So far, all the Kickstarters I've ever done, I've gotten what I paid for. I haven't had. I have a couple that are still outstanding that I'm waiting on, but I don't see any reason why they won't. But I'll update you as those come in as well. That's it, guys. Catch you on the flip side.